Hi everyone! Today we are going to a field trip journey to...
Balaputra Dewa.
Graha Teknologi.
Okay. But before that, let us introduce ourselves. My name is Jeremy.
My name is Nea.
I am Vincent.
And I'm Gaby. Okay, let's go!
Right now we are heading to Gratech or Greyhead Technology through bus. Later on, we will head from Gratech instantly to Balaputra Dewa Museum. And then we will finally go back to our school safely. First things first, I just wanna say that I think me and my teammates are pretty much distracted in this exhibition building, the one that displays stuffs. For this one, it displays science stuffs. I mean, all the things here looks really cool and awesome, Hence why we got distracted a little bit.
Hello guys, we are in Graha Teknologi now. We have arrived. This place looks really cool because they have Palembang arts, and the designs they have on this building is actually pretty cool also. They have tons of mechanics like measuring the weight of the weight of human bodies.
In this video, we're most likely gonna explain stuffs related to school subjects and show things that we have seen in the places that we have gone to, although not everything there. Again, this place is called Gratech, and based on the website for this place, it is stated that this place is used as a playground to learn natural science subject. When we were at this place, the building was huge. All we can hear there was just crowds talking because there are also other students from different schools that are visiting the place. We don't think that there are any special smells here. Lastly, we can do all sorts of experiment on stuff at the place. So what we felt for the texture are mostly solid materials to test things and to touch things. And then there was no taste cause we didn't eat anything or something like that. So how did we feel? All of us had fun in Gratech. The only story we knew at the place was just the laws of science inventors that discovered interesting things. Now we're heading to Balaputra Dewa Museum. We will just call it museum for short. And this museum is a building in which objects of historical, scientific, artistic, or cultural interest are stored and exhibited, just like this one.
Halo guys, kita keluar dari Graha Teknologi dan sekarang kita akan pergi ke museum Balaputra Dewa.
So we have arrived in Museum Balaputra Dewa. Let's get in!
The siding in the museum was nice, cause you can take pictures together there and look at interesting historical objects. Surprisingly, the sound wasn't that loud in the museum. Although there are also other students from different schools, the museum was pretty big, so it's not that crowded. In the museum, we don't get to touch stuffs, so there's no texture. Nor did we taste things like food or something. Similar in Gratech, we also had fun in the museum, cause we get to take big photos with people for memories. In the museum, there are probably references to the history, culture, and social dynamics of the place. This museum mostly exhibits a lot of artifacts from Indonesia and probably some from our city itself, the Palembang culture. Format, we would like to present our journey during the field trip to Greyhead Technology and the Balaputra Dewa Museum in the form of distance time grab. So this is the picture of the distance time grab. The time we have gone from IPK to Gratech was 38 minutes. The speed we were going with was 26.7 km per hour, and the acceleration we were going at was 44.5 km per hour squared. Then we spent around 90 minutes in Grahtec. Next, we are going instantly from Grahtec to the Balaputra Museum, which took around 28 minutes for us to arrive, around half an hour. The speed we were going at was 24 kilometers per hour, and the acceleration we had was 48 kilometers per hour cube. In the museum, we also spent around 90 minutes exploring. After that, we went back to our school IPK in 20 minutes, with a speed of 25 kilometers per hour, and with the deceleration because we're going back, which was mean or negative 83.3 kilometers per hour squared. Now, the total distance we have traveled for this field trip was 35.5 kilometers, and the total speed traveled was 25.2 kilometers per hour.
Now, we would like to explain how some of the generator works there, which we have observed in Grahtec. First, a generator makes electricity by spinning a coil of wire inside a magnetic field. When the coil spins, it makes the electrons in the wire to move, creating electricity. The basic principle of the electrical circuit in a generator is based on electromagnetic induction. When a conductor moves through the magnetic field, it causes electrons in the wire to move, creating an electric current. The difference in the electricity produced by a generator mainly lies in the type of electric current produced, namely direct current or DC or alternating current AC. AC is commonly used for power grids because it is easier to transmit over a long distance. DC is used in smaller devices like batteries. The energy storage system, batteries for example, stores electricity by converting it into chemical energy. When charged by a generator, the battery holds the energy until it's needed, then release it back as electricity for later. Generators are good to provide power in remote areas or during outage, and they're flexible with different flows like batteries. The bad thing is that they can be noisy, need maintenance, and produce emissions.
Next, there are things related to algorithm too in this field trip. An algorithm is a set of clear step-by-step instructions to solve a problem or complete a task. It tells you what to do and in what order for you to reach the right result. Algorithms are used in many areas like math, computer programming, and everyday activities. An everyday life example of an algorithm is getting dressed. To do it, first you need to pick what clothes you want or need to wear, and then put them on one by one. Field trip, both to Grahtec and Balaputra Museum. First you need to take enough money, buy the museum entrance ticket, online or offline, show it to the guards, and finally, enjoy your time there. Another thing is that we need to understand that following the steps in the right order is important to get the correct result. If the steps are mixed up, the outcome might be wrong. The history of algorithm development has influenced computers and programming that forms the basis of computer operation and software development. The algorithm development also has influenced AI to learn, making decisions, and adapt to all things. The difference between algorithms in daily life and computer algorithms is that daily life algorithms are simple, like following a recipe or directions, while computer algorithms are more complex, involving detailed steps that our computer follows to solve problems or perform tasks like coding.
So, in this field trip, there are also things related to biology, most likely about gens and inherited for the museum. First thing first, genetic is the science of gens, heredity, and the variation of organism. Phenotype and genotype is included here, and the difference between them is that phenotype is the observable physical expression of a trait, while genotype is the genetic makeup of an individual represented by the combination of allele. Next, gens are the unit of heredity information. Now, something called allele are different versions of a gen, which is pretty important for traits. Hello Vincent, hi Jeremy, what are you guys doing?
Oh hey JB, we are just looking at pictures with polygenic traits. This one doesn't have fangs, and this one
Oh, that's really good. They have a variety
appearance. Yes. As you saw in the video, the animal as a statue like some kind of honey bear have big fangs, and the dominant trait we can call this uppercase letter B. Their recessive traits are small fangs. The condominus for this animal is that they are a mixture of black and brown fur colors. Some of these animals might be homozygous and heterozygous. Homozygous once means that they have two identical alleles, while heterozygous means that they have different alleles. In polygenetic inherited, an example of a polygenetic trait in the museum is the characteristic blacklist brown fur of the honey bears, that is a combination of brown and black fur colors from several different gens. For the genetic diagram and pedigree chart, we have chosen albinism. For monohybrid inheritance, this is the genetic diagram. For pedigree analysis, this is the pedigree chart. Albinism is autosomal recessive, meaning that the condition of albinism is inherited through a recessive allele located on an autosomal chromosome, that is a non-sex chromosome. Because albinism is a recessive allele, the probability of inherited for offspring is normal. Albinism ratio is 3:1 because for inherited to occur, they must have a pair of recessive alleles, means they are rare. In sex determination, this is the possible sex chromosome of offspring. Now that we're done, we want to share our personal experience on the field trip. One of the most interesting things that we have learned in the museum is how certain traits are passed down from one generation to the next generation, like the Homo sapiens statue in the museum. For example, we can see how small mutation or variation in DNA that can result in large change in characteristics like body, posture, height, or vulnerability to disease. Understanding genetics helps us see diversity as the result of genetic variation that develops through natural selection, mutation, and adaptation. Genetics also help us know that species contribute to the balance of the ecosystem and plays an important role in the food chain then and now. The question that we still have about genetics after our visit is how accurate this DNA testing in determining family relationship and ethnic origins, and also is it possible to modify certain genes to prevent hereditary disease by genetic engineering?
Moving on to economics, this place is called Gratech, and based on the website for this place, it is stated that this place is used as a playground to learn natural science subject. In Bala Putra Museum, this museum preserves the history of Indonesia and probably some Palembang culture history. This museum is a building in which objects of historical, scientific, artistic, or cultural interests are stored and exhibited, just like this one. Now, whenever you hear the word tech, you might get excited because some people think that techs are always related to robots and stuff. But the scarcity in Gratech is the advanced technology and innovation that require huge resources and investment to develop. Therefore, only a few companies can produce such technology. Meanwhile, the scarcity in the Bala Putra Dewa Museum is not much because the name of the museum matches what will have been shown in the museum. Although it can have more things inside, it will cost a lot more money too. Now for the price and demand for places. In Gratech, first, the ticket price is 3,000 rupiah per person, and the total visitors in the last 3 months are 3,000 visitors. Next, in the museum, Bala Putra Dewa Museum, the ticket price would be 2,000 rupiah per person, and the total visitors in the last 3 months are 2,400 visitors. The data obtained shows a pattern that does not follow the law of demand. It is the higher the price, the lower the demand. Now it can be seen that even though the museum ticket price is cheaper than Gratech, the number of visitors is lower. For us, this is because museum tickets are considered an inelastic product. This means that changes in ticket prices do not affect the number of visitors that much. Rather, it is because the interest in visiting a museum often depends on other factors, such as interest in education, special events, or the appeal of a particular exhibition, and not just the ticket price.
Hello guys, so we have come back from the field trip and now we have arrived to our school back. I think that was a fun experience. How do you feel, Jaran? How do you feel?
Yes.
How do you feel?
Happy.
Good. Alright, we hope we can do a field trip again someday with the same people. Thank you and God bless you.